This is a verse by an unknown author with which I've taken a little poetic license. It's entitled, Remember Me. To the living, I am gone. To the sorrowful, I will return. To the angry, I was cheated. But to the happy, I am at peace. And to the faithful, I have never left. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. So as you stand upon a shore, gazing at a mighty ocean, remember me. As you look upon a night sky filled with stars to wish upon, remember me. As you look in awe at a mighty forest and its grand majesty, remember me. As you look upon a flower and admire its magnificent simplicity, remember me. As you admire an architectural wonder, remember me. As you see another young family laughing, remember me. As you see a young father and son playing, remember me. As you stand at the first tee box, remember me. As you watch a Lamborghini pass by, remember me. At the end of a long day, when you're trying to relax, have a glass of fine whiskey on the rocks to remember me. Remember me in your heart, your thoughts, and your memories of the times we loved, the times we cried, the times we fought, but especially the times we laughed. For you, if you always think of me, I will never have gone. I am Grandpa Tom, Tyler's dad, and a nearly broken man. I remember thinking that the first time I ever cried this hard was about 30 years ago in Chicago in the winter. There was a young father and son walking along the lakefront. The young boy slipped and fell into the lake, into the icy waters. There happened to be a television film crew nearby to assist in the rescue. They captured it on tape. The vision I have is the crew pulling the lifeless body from the water by his ankle. I lost it because the father was my age. The boy was Tyler's age. For Tyler's upbringing, like any father, I tried to instill values, teach him lessons. I encouraged him to speak up and defend himself, to defend his position. I always encouraged him to take a different viewpoint of the ordinary. I read him many books, many of them backwards. The words backwards. It was silly, but it was different. I remember sitting and looking at a sunset with him, sun setting upon the horizon, and telling him that on the other side of the world, there was a father and son looking at the same sight, but it was a sunrise. to get him to look at things differently. I encouraged him to question everything. Everything. And when he became a teenager, he questioned especially those things that his father had told him. I tried to help him look ahead and to think about what he could expect, what might happen, what could happen. I often said to him, if I were in your shoes, I would be aware of this. I'd look for that. I tried to think ahead and help him to think ahead. So this morning, if you will indulge me, I'd like to speak to you as Tyler would, because in fact, today, I am standing in his shoes. I'd like to thank you all for coming to this gathering this morning. It pleases me that we are all together as family. I'm sorry that I left. It wasn't planned, it wasn't my choice. Despite the heroic efforts of my Jennifer and every ounce of strength that I had, I succumbed. You are all feeling your loss. I suggest to you that the greater loss is mine. Those of you who knew me well know that I never did anything halfway. And if it was worth doing, it was worth completing. And now, the most precious responsibility and challenge that I have, I cannot complete. So I am calling upon each of you to contribute to help complete the challenge and responsibility that I cannot. Jennifer and Q will have lots of support over the next few weeks. But in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year, that support will be just as needed. So I will ask you, if you can, to check in with them. And do not ask if there's anything you can do unless you're prepared for a very direct answer. Because if you know Jennifer, she will give you a very direct answer. If you can, I thank you for contributing on my behalf. And I ask that starting today, that you do not focus on my absence, but my presence. Two years ago this month, Tyler lost his first cousin at just about the same age, just as suddenly and just as unexpectedly. When I spoke at Rob's funeral, I made 2 promises. One, that I would never stop saying his name out loud, and that I would always remember his birthday. I'm going to ask that you make the same pledge to always remember to say Tyler's name. On Wednesday of this week, and again yesterday, when sitting with Q, I had a moment when I said that I was feeling very sad because I missed his dad. And I said, what can we do? And Quentin said, we can call him. And I said, you mean call his name? And he said, yes. So I said, okay, on the count of 3, we'll call him. I counted to 3, and we both very loudly. So to help us all keep this moment in our minds and in our hearts, I'm going to ask each of you to join me in calling out Tyler's name out loud. Please do not whisper. Muster all the strength that you can to say his name. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.